Ludwigsburg. In Ludwigsburg, I had my first appointment after my apprenticeship. And because my draft delayed itself, I was there for 3 years. 3 years in which I discovered an incredible variety. Bizarrely I lost. Thus far as I discovered the books again, and the visual arts for the first time, the music. Not that I did not hear it anymore, but I believe that I listened to less and less. Up to a night. But that should be later. Very much later. Before I can remember, I listened to sometimes, in my room, entirely painted in red with black edges, in which I was not alone once, but also not really, just a bit. The time of oblivion, of repression. Ludwigsburg was like a liberation. I was in a city, no longer high on a mountain cut off. Now I could go again on journey of discovery. And what I discovered all, I cannot enumerate it. The first time in the library, she was so large, she was so beautiful, so gorgeous. And then I stood in front of a shelf. What beautiful volumes, Shakespeare. Straight away the first volume, Richard III, how the first words hit me. I was terrified. Or I'm terrified only now. Heinrich, Titus, Merchant, Julius, Lear. The Tempest I not understood. And as I turned around, Storm. What a wonderful diction. I hiked with him, although I was not really interested in it, but the language in which he was telling was so beautiful that I could not stop to hearken him of landscapes, castles, rivers and noble misses. And then I had again the blue volumes. Wells, Kurosawa, Allen, some I saw, or I would still see later. Many of the classics I should find now. I can enumerate them not a bit. Once it also not. But one opus I have to mention. I always heard Inferno, also Dali, and was then yet amazed as I found out after search that the Inferno was simply the first part of Dante's Divine Comedy. I borrowed it, and it hit me like a punch. I could not cease reading the Inferno nota bene, now comprehending why this part had occupied so many. Most of all grabbed me, as Dante puts his thoughts to the damned like Homer and Aristotle down onto paper. I had to think about it for a long time. Movie theater. Immediately I ran to the movie theater on the first evening, disappointed as certain that no movie seemed interesting. Flashdance. At least something about dance with music. The movie was horrible, dreadfully banal. The music trivial, the actors lousy and the story ridiculous. But I sat in the movies, was thrilled and was confused. Not that I had not been to the cinema the 3 years before. Evening performance. A workmate took me along. He always watched kung fu films. I looked older, and so also I was asked the question that the bored, chewing gum, chewing card sales girl asked to all. Kung fu or porno? I always thought about whether I should say porno once. But there was also a highlight. Cat people. I still remember that I talked to him about it, that it was nonsensical to watch the movie just because Nastasia Kinski was naked in it. I bought a movie magazine if possible. The pictures about the movie were obvious. So we watched the movie. I found it ridiculous, and frankly, I found the other actress who goes swimming in the pool much more beautiful, well, more erotic. but two scenes electrified me. In one case, the desert landscape with the black big cats as they lie on the bare tree. And there too, the singing of David Bowie. But much more the ending. I found it beautiful. The black cat, her eyes. I never should be able to forget them again. And now why? Why was I so enthusiastic? Sure, the cinema hall was much bigger, the screen, the sound, but that it could not be. Was it because I was alone? Because I had no more to watch stupid kung fu movies? Now I believe, I felt, that I could decide for myself. I could say which movie I wanted to watch. After the show, I just wanted to enshrine the feeling. Thus, I went straight to the next show. The same movie, just as stupid. But the sentiment, equally beautiful. Antoine Doinel. I also discovered the Blue Movie Theater. Went inside, and it was wonderful. I had never seen such a wonderful cinema hall before, and also rarely saw such a wonderful again. It was delightful to sit therein. There were always only a few in it, and most of them sat at the back. I always sat in the middle, and had the impression to be alone in the movie theater. At the box office, one got a bottle of schnapps held out to the cart. I always declined with thanks. I wanted to go to the hall. Over the years, this beautiful cinema hall has been preserved, and I was delighted to see many years later that from the Blue Movie Theater, a municipal cinema had become. It were beautiful, unburdened years in Ludwigsburg. And then was still. Thank you for listening.